What's up, witch? Yeah, you. That witch right there. It's Luna, and I'm here with a tarot unboxing. And I hate saying I'm really excited, but I'm happy. I am happy to be unboxing this deck, to finally have this deck in my collection. This is the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini, and it's been one I've looked at for, since I started buying decks and would go, ooh, that's really pretty. And then I went on to, the allure of oracle decks, because they are so very different. Each one is unique. Tarot decks are tarot decks. They all have the same format. So it was easier to go, now I'll get that one later. Give me this. But I have it now, and I'm very happy about that. By David Palladini, published by U.S. Games. The Art Deco-inspired imagery that brought tarot symbolism into the modern age has kept this deck popular for decades. Well, I'm glad they recognize that. There's the Lover's card. And on this side, I'm thinking that's the High Priestess. Not sure. There's the Lovers. Includes 78 cards with instruction booklet. 1970. 1970 and 2006. Hold on. Bleh. Sorry. 1970. That's just hitting me now. Wow, this one's been around for quite some time. So now I'm extra happy to have it in the collection. We have the LWB. Oh, it's not a book. It's a paper. Not sure how I feel about that. I guess I feel okay about it because since it is a tarot deck, not going to be doing a lot of looking up. Okay. We have a facing card illustrated by David Palladini, Aquarian Tarot. And then let me zoom you in. Here we go. Then another facing card. So good. We get two blocking cards. And I'm sorry that... Actually not. not sorry that it's a beautiful sunny day and you're getting a bit of glare here. So I'll just do this and I'm going to read it to you anyway. David Palladini was born in Italy but came to the United States at an early age and grew up in Highland Park, Illinois. He studied art and design at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. A graphic artist, Palladini has designed and illustrated books, posters, magazine covers, and the popular Aquarian Tarot deck. He is also a photographer and musician. Neptunian boy there. Mr. Palladini illustrated The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King, Viking, 26 Starlings Will Fly Through Your Mind by Barbara Wurzba, HarperCollins, and The Prince in the Golden Tower by Florence Carpin, Viking. I'd like to see an illustrated Stephen King book. I'm going to have to look that one up. He has won numerous awards from such international groups as the American Institute of Graphic Arts, the New York Society of Illustrators, and the Bratislava Biennale. He now lives in Jamaica, West Indies, with his wife, Sherry Schreiber, an internationally known tapestry weaver. That's fascinating. All right, let's look. Let me see if I need to close my curtains a little bit so you can see better. I think I will. Does that make it any better? That might make it a little bit better. Dang it. Hold on. I hate putting myself in the dark, but I'd rather you be able to see what I'm trying to show you here. Let me zoom in a little more and see if that helps. Come on. Come on, darling. It's just not picking up because, there we go. All right, you don't have to see me. I mean, I'm sitting practically in the dark here, so you can see these cards. But, with the white in the background and then a white face, it is difficult. The light really flares it out. And you can see, I'll just show you a couple examples here. The style, definitely Art Deco. And what I really like is that we've got the clean lines, that clean, definite outline of Art Deco style. But then when you get to the faces, there's a softness and a realism. about that, and that's unique. I like it. Oh, let's look at the backs. Oh, weird. Wow, that back, I mean, look at the palette of these cards. It's like autumny colors, and the back is this blue and white. I'm finding that a little bizarre. And they're definitely directional. Let's do this. Yeah, because one side, you know, they're kind of mirror images, but one side is definitely darker than the other side. So, wow, interesting. All right, there's the Fool. There's the Magician. And the Fool, I mean, we know he's the Fool, I guess, by the staff over his shoulder. So we're not going to have the standard full images of the Smith-Waite decks. Interesting. Magician, now we've got a little closer to the standard. We have these beautiful borders. Let me see here. That's a more simple border, but look at the borders and these, you know, linear things here. And we've got the Magician with all the tools in front of them. I just find these images very appealing, but I gotta say the backs are jarring. The color scheme is so different. Here's the High Priestess. Oh, so the one I saw in the front was not the High Priestess. All right, can't wait to see who that is. So this one, I mean, there's two, I guess those are two scrolls, but we don't see like the pillars. We see the pomegranates. I'm not sure what that on her head stands for. So if you're going to use this for your tarot deck, you definitely want to do some studying on what the traditional images mean. And we will see that when we go to the book. There's the Empress. We've got the Venus sign. And again, look at the face. The softness and the kind of bleached out realism of it, I really find appealing. The Emperor. He's got his staff. There's the ram's heads that identify him. The Hierophant. Art Nouveau and Art Deco are, I've got to say, like my two favorites. The Lovers, as we saw in the back of the box. So we see a lot of, you know, wands with flowering things. What's missing from this image is that image of spirit up in the sky. Usually there's the woman looking up to spirit and the man looking to the woman, which is a mouthful. The Chariot. I don't really understand what's going on in the middle here. But I guess I don't have to. You know, we're just looking at pleasing images. There's the Strength card. And we don't have a lion, we have a dog. And we don't have a woman, we have a man. And we're definitely deviating. The Hermit. Yes, you see him holding his lamp. And look at these, just graphic, you know. I really like. Wheel of Fortune. A little more detail here. Justice. With her scales and her sword. Usually Justice is holding the sword up, but not so here. There's the Hanged Man. Death. There we go. Temperance is what we had on the front of the box. And look at the difference in color. These are definitely sort of washed out compared to this color. I gotta say I like this. They just took and darkened up. They kicked up the contrast there, because look at how much darker the faces are. Still, love the images. There's the Devil. Whoa. Tower. I don't see the people falling from here. There's just flames shooting out. The Star with a peacock. Oh, I love the spiky things, and I love that image of the star. The Moon. We don't get the wolf and the dog. The Sun. I mean, look at that pair. Nice. Judgment. and the world. We do have the 4 fixed signs. There's the angel, the eagle, the lion, and the bull. And then we start with the king. Okay, here's one of these decks that goes backwards, forward through the majors, backward through the minors. Let's see what they do with the meanings, because I will get very salty if... Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm just going to turn... So they're not in the same order as they are in the book, or are they? Wait. Ugh, it's hard to tell because it's not a book. It's a pamphlet. Rods. So in the book, we start with rods. And we go from ace to king. Yet in the deck, we go backwards. So I'm going to pull a move here. There's rods, and then swords are next. And then probably cups and pentacles. Yep. So yes, I'm going to get very fussy, and we're going to flip them over this way. There we go. So we get the ace of rods. And, okay, wait. Let's do it backwards. There. You happy now? I'm happy. The ace of rods. The 2. We have the world in the hand. 3, looking out, but we don't see what he's looking at. We don't see the ships and things. Again, we get simplified. 4. The 5. But it gets the essence. The 6. That's the closest to a full representation of the traditional there that I've seen yet, I think. 7 of rods. The 8. The 9. And the 10. Page. Knight. So we're not going to see what the horses are doing. Queen and king, because in the more traditional imagery, we've got horses in various attitudes. Some are like rearing, and some, like Knight of Pentacles, the horse stands still. All right. Swords. The 2, we get the blindfold. The 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the minors do seem to capture more of the traditional images, is my opinion there. The 8, 9, yeah, very, very standard, and 10. Then we get the page, and the knight, and the queen, and the king. Cups. 2, 3. Everybody's pretty static, there's not a lot of movement going on in these cards. So one of the things I do when I'm using my Hanson Roberts deck, one of the things that will catch my attention in a reading is if there's a lot of movement being shown, a lot of horses moving forward, the 8 of Wands, that kind of thing that shows movement. Even the ones that are movement cards in this deck look kind of static. And that's not a criticism, it's just a statement. Because I know which cards represent movement, like the Chariot. The 6, the 7. And you can really see all the different things represented in the cups. Now that'll be interesting. 8 of Cups, the 9, and the 10. We don't see the full family. Page. There's the fishy, the knight, the queen, and the king. Ace of Pentacles. 2. The rocky waters we have there. 3. Yes, all looking very familiar. And yet in this beautiful, really cohesive style. the style definitely stays consistent. The 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10. Now we get the family with the kids. Page, Knight, Queen, and King. All right. Okay, I'm going to open up my curtain again because I don't like sitting in the dark. Right. And I'm going to turn my light up again. Okay. Now, you know what I'm looking forward to? Shuffling, because I know they're going to shuffle well. Let's pause for a moment before we move on to the pamphlet and put a request out as I uncork my fresh water. To allies and ancestors, guides and guardians, please be with me now. Open my mind and bring ideas and messages to me that are clear, accurate, useful, insightful. And I offer you the fire of Azrael. Blessed by fire. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Well, I got you way zoomed in here. Okay. Okay. There we go. And let's do a little salt water too. The fresh water here is an offering to my guides to kind of come be with me and help me out. And the salt water is water and earth. The incense is air and fire. And I need to open this a little bit more. Hold on. There, better. Now, the delight of shuffling a U.S. Games Tarot deck. Yeah, baby. Let's give it, I'm going to give it the full 7 shuffles. Why 7? I mean, 7 is a high vibe number, but it's also the number of shuffles that mixes the deck most thoroughly. And it's fun when you got a deck that shuffles like this. It's so much fun. I have been struggling with some other decks. I've been working with the Heaven and Earth Tarot a lot, and I love the deck itself, but my God, it hurts to shuffle it. And then let's do a few cuts. Oh, looky there. All right. Let's take a look at the pamphlet. Authentic interpretation of the medieval tarot instructions. All right, the introduction. In the age of Aquarius, the tarot cards are enjoying a revival of interest, well deserved. The first known cards are dated 1390 AD, but it's probable that their origin dates back much earlier. The mystery of their origin and the esoteric symbols have intrigued man through the centuries. Today we can find new meaning in the old symbols applicable to our lives. Man has always been interested in the mysteries of his unconscious and the future, whether consciously or not. He has always strived toward the light of transcendent life. The cards in the universal language of symbols explore man's collective unconscious and its bearing on one's personal life and growth. A proper reading of the cards can help one gain perspective on personal questions and reorder the priorities in his life. Whether the cards help one to know oneself better or point one in a new direction, they add a new dimension to one's personal experience, to one's experience of life. All right, I'm interested that they're using 111 through, and then they throw that his in there. It's weird. Okay. The pack consists of 78 cards, 22 in the major arcana, 56 in the minor arcana, divided into 4 suits: cups, swords, pentacles, and rods, sometimes called wands. General meanings are included here, but for further interpretations of the symbols and their subtler meanings and interrelationships, it is advisable to refer to one or more of the books listed at the end. Let's see what those books are. I don't see a list of books here. I see on the back panel, for our complete line of tarot decks, books, meditation cards, oracle sets, inspirational products, and games, please visit our website, usgamesinc.com. So I'm imagining that the original in 1970 actually had a bibliography of sorts, or at least a resource list. All right, let's look at this Three of Swords. So we have, again, very rudimentary meanings. We've got upright and reversed, just meanings, no card descriptions. And the Three of Swords that flipped out here says rupture, separation, absence, delay. Reverse is disharmony, alienation, confusion, disorder. So this is as basic as it gets, and I do appreciate that. Then at the end, we've got the ancient Celtic method of divination. The quality of a reading is dependent on the sensitivity and intuitive ability of the diviner and on his growth and perception of the wide range of human experience. Whoever decides to read for another should approach the reading with a respectful spirit and an open mind, as free of personal bias as possible. Should always consider the cards relative to the subject's age, sex, and position in life and adapt the meanings thereby. Ancient Celtic method of divination is used for answering a subject's definite question. And so they talk about significators. The diviner first selects a card to represent the subject of the reading, and they go by, blonde hair, blue eyes, light brown hair and eyes. So the blondes are the rods, the cups are light brown hair, swords dark brown hair and eyes, and pentacles are black hair and very dark eyes. And then I ask, what if somebody's got blonde hair and brown eyes? Or black hair and blue eyes? I've never been fond of that. Okay. Selects a king if the subject's a man, a queen if a woman, a knight if a young man, and a page if a youth, either male or female. So we have just one card for the woman. You can see the sexism that was inherent in the system. Place the significator up, and then it walks us through. This covers him, this crosses him, this crowns him, beneath him, behind him, before him, himself, his environment, hopes and fears, and culmination. Pretty standard Celtic cross. So I am going to I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to do a spread and pull, I believe. All right, that one wants out too. Then let's pull 2 more. Set that one aside. Right. 2 more. Okay, question. What message do my viewers need to hear today? What is a message that will help us go from surviving into thriving and make our lives better? Okay. Over here. And over here. This one came out first, so we go Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, and Queen of Swords. Ooh, how interesting. All right. So 3 of Swords, this is talking about heartache. And so let's let that be the subject of the reading. How do we deal with the heartache that we're experiencing right now? Because it is rare that we aren't experiencing some sort of heartache, something that is causing us to think our lives are not quite where we'd like them to be. So let's see how they deal with the court cards now. Queen of Pentacles. All right. Queen says, a dark woman of generous and perceptive spirit who is a devoted wife, magnificence, opulence, security. So here we have woman in the role of wife. Again, we see the sexism inherent in the system. One image to represent a woman. And, the page to soak up everything that we forgot to include. All right. So let's go with the general meaning here of magnificence, opulence, security. I always talk about the Queen of Rods as the green thumb, that this shows the ability of taking whatever resources are given to you and to make them grow into something more. So while the Empress really talks about abundance and the abundance mindset and, abundance around you and mothering skills and stuff, this really talks about the more practical skill of just being very, very resourceful. All right, major Temperance. Mature adaptation to whatever life offers. Individualized existence. Interesting meanings, mature adaptation to whatever life offers. So that does talk about assimilation. I look at Temperance as assimilation, of taking things from outside, the experiences you've had, external circumstances, and how they've changed you inside, or looking at the past and saying, how do these experiences apply to where I am now? What lessons have I derived from this circumstance in the past? And that really does mature adaptation to whatever life offers. Yes, you're looking at things with a mature mind and going, how can I be responsible for this experience? And it's my responsibility to respond to this, and how I respond. So that definitely feels right. And then let's look at Queen of Swords. A saddened woman, representing widowhood, privation, absence, sterility, or separation. Now, that definitely goes with my understanding of Queen of Swords. I always look at it as a woman with a burden, a woman that's got some past trauma, a woman that is wearing armor. So, all right. And this one, interesting that the Pentacles say a dark woman, and King says a dark man. That is the only suit that says, dark, light, whatever, as far as King and Queen. So we're just going to throw those out. I've never, ever used those meanings of the court cards being someone with, blonde hair, blue eyes. I've never used those that way. Okay. So we have the Resourceful Queen, opulent security, all right. I mean, Three of Swords and Temperance down there talks about definitely looking at whatever heartache we're going through in terms of the patterns that run through our lives. Is this something we've experienced before? Is this something we've experienced repeatedly? The things that repeat and repeat and repeat have your karmic lessons embedded in them. And then we've got, I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles turning her back on Temperance here. This is opulence. And this one was that, woundedness. Help me as I pick my way through these things. Absence, separation. Okay, what I'm seeing here is that we might be struggling to see the worth in the hard times that we're going through. And okay, that makes a lot of sense, because in this pandemic, we've all been under, the heartache of not being able to be with people. And this week in particular, there's been news of a couple people passing that has been very sad. Not celebrities, people in my personal circle. And the worst part of it is the friends reaching out to each other saying, you know, I'm so sorry, and offering support and everything, but we can't physically be together to hug each other and, you know, offer that really anchoring physical support. So it can be really difficult to see the value in the times that we're going through. All right, give me a couple more, and we're taking off the top here. And then we get a knight and a page. What the fuck is with all these court cards? All right. Let's just keep going. Knight of Swords, an action-oriented man of military nature, epitomizing bravery, skill, determination. Depending on the card nearby, this could mean conflict, war, opposition, or destruction. Conflict. Okay. Opposition, destruction. So I'm looking at this being, you know, opulence and material wealth. And yeah, a lot of people have been experiencing the opposite of that. And something, you know, interesting that this could talk about some anger coming up with the process happening right now, where the Senate is just like laboriously debating this third relief package, and it's pissing me off because people need help now. That disconnect pisses me off. Then we got Page of Cups coming over by the Queen of Swords. Thoughtful, artistic man or girl. Young man or girl. Willing to help the seeker. Okay, so this is someone helpful. Can also signify the birth of a child or new ideas in business. All right. So for the heartache that we're feeling, this is talking about just really looking for help and reaching out. But the Page of Cups also has always talked to me when you see this fish in here and you think about water as being the unconscious mind, as using a tool to help you access those deeper parts of yourself so that you can find some peace. And that is meditation, prayer work, walking out in nature, you know, whatever it is that's going to help you find some peace and calm you down. I'm also interested that both of these cards are looking towards the past. I mean, it can talk about the major conflicts being in the past, and also our sense of stability being in the past. And in the future now, we're looking at the difficulties that we're having processing stuff, the sense of loss, separation, privation, and certainly the losses are absolutely massive. And then looking to how we can deal with these losses and find peace of mind again. I guess that's what I'm getting here. And because I'm a glutton, I'm going to take a couple more. I'm going to shuffle and take a couple more. There's one. Here's two. Tower. Hierophant. Okay, busting of the old ways. This is talking about the habits. The habits, the old way of doing business, and I'm talking about the government here, and this is pissing me off with the Democrats. We've got this great opportunity to just, plow through and get an agenda accomplished that actually supports the American people, and they're going about things the old way. So this is something that definitely needs to be broken down. Let's look at what the meanings, how they're written here. Tower. Unforeseen catastrophe, disruption of one's style of life or way of thinking, which may be followed by enlightenment. Okay, so breakdown of the old calcified ways of thinking. And then the Hierophant, one who leads one away from too worldly concerns, possibility of marriage or alliance of some kind. So talking about needing to go in a more spiritual direction here. The old way needs to break down, and we need to forge ahead in a more spiritual way. Okay. I think I'm going to have to work with this deck for a while. And, the one thing I didn't do was hit it with some sage first. So, but I've been coveting this deck for long enough that I know it will work. And any tarot deck, if you bond with it enough, is going to function, you know, whether the images are wildly different or the meanings written with the deck are different or don't vibe with you, you can still apply the meanings that you know from whatever tool you really do vibe with. You can apply those meanings onto any tarot deck. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. The imagery, again, is just stuff that I really, really love, and I do look forward to working with this. And interestingly, I did a reading, a birthday reading for my sister-in-law yesterday, and it has been a while since I used my Hanson Roberts deck, and I pulled it out, and I had an odd experience with it. I didn't feel the connection with it that I've had in the past, and I really feel like that deck is getting close to retiring. And not the Hanson Roberts like by itself, but that particular Hanson Roberts deck. I've used it for more than 30 years, and it's really grungy. And it was difficult for me to shuffle it. And I've been shuffling new decks, and, they're feeling so great. And it's like, ooh, this one is feeling really stodgy. I do have a new copy of it, so I might have to go to the new copy of it. And what I would do is lay them out and match them up. So the Fool to the Fool, the Magician to the Magician, stack them up together so that the new deck can absorb the vibes of the old deck and hopefully work the same way. So interesting. I hope you guys are having a good time, with spring a-coming. I hope that you're staying safe. If you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, please look down below. There's a link to DM me for details and to book. If you value what I do here, please, can you tell what part is hardest for me? Please feel free to send a donation. I appreciate everything, and no donation is too small. If you want to get a personal reading, you can send me a deck from my Amazon wish list below. You can join my Discord, which I'm really not doing much with now, but more importantly, you can join my Patreon. And if you're a patron at any level, you can get in on monthly Zoom calls. If you are at the Priestess level and the Goddess level, you can get deep dive lectures and lessons on how to be your own astrologer, how to read a natal chart. I've delivered 3 lessons so far, and they're good, if I say so myself. All right, you guys, keep yourselves safe. Enjoy your day, and I will see you Saturdays for Prayer Circle, Mondays for Unboxing Tarot, Wednesdays for a live stream in the evening, and Fridays for Oracle unboxings. Till the next one, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.